Assalamu alaikum. I hope you guys are well. Alhamdulillah. The legal state of Israel, for the past 2 years now almost, has repeatedly been carrying out mass genocide in Palestine with no remorse, no thought, no compassion. They only display pure, demonic, terrorist, and vile behaviors. Over 55,000 Palestinians have been brutally murdered, over 200,000 injured, and over 1.5 million Palestinians have been displaced from their homes. Keep in mind that these evil behaviors and terrorist acts have been going on since 1947. With the Nakba until now, Zionist forces have raped, killed, slaughtered, exiled, and treated the Palestinians like mere lifeless objects for over 75 years. There is overwhelming evidences for all their crimes, from footages to live testimonies for these past 75 plus years. However, the problem is what Western media fails to show about Israel and the double standards they possess. In this video, let's explore the legitimacy of the existence of the State of Israel. The so-called State of Israel was founded in 1948 by David Ben-Gurion, a prominent Zionist leader, after years of illegal migration, settlements, and attacks on native Palestinians in their own homeland by European Jewish migrants. These Zionists basically escaped oppression and terror in Europe from the Nazi regime and settled in Palestine for refuge, in which they turned with aggression and ruthlessness to the very people that gave them refuge, which were the Palestinians. Years of attacks and unlawful settlements by the Jewish migrants towards native Palestinians and conflicts between native Palestinians, who they called Arabs, not Palestinians, and the Jews, led to Palestine being split up into the Jewish state and Arab state. The Jewish state was Israel, which shamelessly is being acknowledged by the United Nations and America and other nations till today. All this was the aftermath of the deadly Nakba.
February 1947, the UK announced it would end its mandate over Palestine and hand responsibility to the newly formed United Nations. The UN proposed a plan to divide Palestine into separate Jewish and Arab states. Most of the land was allocated to Jews, who made up 1/3 of the population and were mostly recent immigrants from Europe. Once the plan was passed that November, Zionist forces began attacking Palestinian towns and villages. They seized 774 settlements and wiped out 530, forcing more than 250,000 Palestinians off of their land. The Zionists were heavily armed, using tanks and weapons left behind by the British. On May 14, 1948, the State of Israel came into being. The Nakba began the next day. Around 15,000 Palestinians were killed in a series of mass atrocities. In all, at least 750,000 Palestinians were expelled from their homes and lands. Zionists took control of 78% of historic Palestine. The remaining 22% was split into what is now the occupied West Bank and the besieged Gaza Strip.
The Jews from Europe migrating was supported by Britain, and these Jews, led by Weizmann, Israel's first president, aimed to make Palestine as Jewish as England is English. The creation of Israel was in no aspect legal or acceptable under international law. It was just pure terrorism by Zionists, and any rational human being would deem their actions as disgusting. Now, when do we hear Western media exploring the legitimacy of Israel and its history? Sure, even if they do, they would never mention the dark truth and the ultimate reality behind this illegal state's formation. Exposing the Zionist crimes and revealing the truth of their actions is always deemed as anti-Semitic by these Western media outlets. And I want to make one thing clear. How is exposing years of terrorism and aggression of these Zionists in lands which they stole be deemed as anti-Semitic, which basically means hatred towards Jews? How is this hatred towards Jews? Rather, our hatred is towards the people that have oppressed and murdered native Palestinians and displaced them to steal their lands and tell the world, oh look, we own this land now, it is ours, while they hide the dark truth. Till this day, Zionists are robbing Palestinians of their land, murdering them, displacing them in order to ethnically cleanse the land of Palestine from Muslims and other Palestinians who own this land.